And thank you so much for joining us today on this segment of People You Should Know. And my guest today is TR Garland, who is going to teach you everything you need to know about LinkedIn. And I have to be honest, I have a lot of people on LinkedIn that are, followers of mine, but I'm terrible at LinkedIn. So I'm super excited that TR is here to share some wisdom with you. I saw a presentation of his several months ago, and I immediately said to him, you have to tell my audience this stuff. So TR, thank you so much for joining us. I want you to tell the audience, what is the number one mistake people make when they're on LinkedIn?
Well, first and foremost, please allow me to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. No matter what podcast or summit or stage that I get invited onto, I realize that your time is valuable and your audience's time is valuable. And I want to honor that time investment that we are both making in an effort to share this knowledge, to transfer this knowledge that's up in the top of my brain and transfer it through video, through audio to your amazing listening audience. And I think it's a fantastic way to begin this conversation today. And it's going to be a conversation about how to use your free LinkedIn profile to get more prospects, more partners, and more people willing to invite you onto their platforms. When I speak of platforms, I'm talking about live or virtual stages. Because at the end of the day, no matter what your profession is these days, you cannot carry your message on your shoulder all by yourself. You must amass an army of advocates that know what you do and can introduce you to multiple people at once so they can self-select themselves to do business with you.
Yeah.
So.
Yes. And that's the thing, like the one thing I will say about LinkedIn, you said something that I think we always lose sight of when we're on these social media sites, which was the F word, free.
Yeah.
A lot of times we forget that these resources that are available to us, that are there for the taking, are free. And we should take, the greatest advantage that we can of those resources. So, and LinkedIn's a profession, a quote unquote professional place. So tell us how we can take advantage of that.
Yep. So to specifically answer your question, which is what is the number one mistake most people make when they attempt to get business from LinkedIn, is that they don't pay attention to their own LinkedIn profile, even though after this conversation that you and I are having with them, they will now know I've got to pay attention to my profile. So here's what I mean. If you have not gotten the results that you expect from your LinkedIn profile up until today, then I encourage you to adopt a different mindset. Now, what does TR mean about this? Well, what I mean is that if you've thought of LinkedIn as social media, scratch it. Don't think of it as social media anymore. If you've thought of LinkedIn as technology, scratch that. Don't think of LinkedIn as technology. My encouragement is that each and every one of you thinks of LinkedIn as a huge convention center, and they're hosting a trade show. And as of the time of this recording, over 620 million professionals have been invited to that trade show, and they're walking up and down the aisles of that trade show. And you've been gifted your free trade show booth, and so have all your competitors. So the number one mistake that most people make when using LinkedIn is they don't think of their LinkedIn profile as their professional presence. They don't remodel it in a way that conceptually takes advantage of the valuable real estate that they've been gifted. For example, right, they haven't laid down that red carpet to cover up that cold concrete floor of the convention center.
Right.
They haven't put a color branded skirt on the table in their trade show booth yet. They haven't put banners behind that booth that when someone's walking down the aisle, they look to the right, that draws their attention, that captivates their attention and brings them closer to the front door to their trade show booth.
Right,
and then finally, they don't put brochures on that table in that trade show booth in front of the banners on top of the carpet, that once they step inside that keep them in that trade show booth.
Oh my gosh. It's such a great way to think about it too. I mean, it isn't Facebook. You're absolutely correct, because you're not connecting with friends or family on Facebook. You're making professional connections just as if you were at a trade show. And so you should treat it as such. You wouldn't want to show up to a trade show and just throw some pens on a table and call it a day.
Not even that. I mean, oftentimes people are not putting the carpet on the cold concrete floor, and we've all been to trade shows in which that white sign is hanging with the metal things in the back, and it says, Garland Incorporated. Well, that means nothing, and that means that me, because I've been gifted that trade show booth, and I'm not taking advantage of that valuable real estate. So if I may, because you shared with me that we want to add as much value in a compressed time as possible, Jillian, if I may share with your viewing audience the 3 core components that they could and should pay attention to that will captivate people's attention, that will keep their attention, and that will compel them into action.
Oh, please do. Yeah,
cool.
No, I'm not going to stop you.
Awesome. Well, I mean, I could talk for hours on this topic, and you said that there's a sweet spot in which we can captivate the attention of your audience.
Absolutely.
So you said go straight for the value, and that's what we want. We want everybody to know that there are 3 core components that they could and should pay attention to after they watch this particular interview. So core component number 1 is your custom profile picture. Core component number 1 is your custom profile picture. Core component number 2 is your custom background, and core component number 3 is your custom headline, your headline. Those 3 components make up the front door to your LinkedIn trade show booth. And people are not going to step into the lobby. They're not going to go into the conference room and close deals with you until you captivate their attention with what's on your front door. So
let's go through that one more time real quick. Yeah. You got to have a good picture.
Yes.
You got to have a custom picture. You got to have a custom background, and you have to have a custom tagline.
Headline, exactly.
Headline. Okay.
So those are the 3 core components that people see the most, that will compel them into action, meaning causing them to make a micro commitment of staying on your profile 3 seconds longer or 30 seconds longer, or that will repel them away because your profile is just too boring or it doesn't make any sense. And so the recommendation, I can give I can dig deeper, I can drill down on each one of those 3 core components to help you and your listening audience understand a little bit more.
So listen, I want to make this super specific, if you don't mind, for a second. Yeah. I want to take, I'm not even going to take my profile, because, I don't think a lot of other securities attorneys are watching these videos. Maybe they are. But I do know who is watching these videos, and that's, generally speaking, if I can get really specific for a second, are entrepreneurs who are looking to raise money for their company, their deals, whatever it might be. They're looking to raise money, and they're also looking to use LinkedIn for that purpose. So if we could, let's talk about that headline for a second. If you knowing that, what would you recommend as a headline for somebody who is in that position, who's looking to raise money for their company?
So great question, and I will honor you by answering that question, and please allow me to go back to the other components, because someone's not going to read your headline unless you captivate their attention first.
Excellent.
And what I mean by that is, for 30 years, I've studied psychology and marketing, and I've created something called the psychographic scripting system. The psychographic scripting system is carefully crafting the right vocabulary and the right visuals, so that the right vocabulary and visuals are used and applied to your LinkedIn profile, so that it accomplishes 3 things: captivate their attention, keep their attention, and compel them into action. And so these 3 core components that I explained to you, the picture, the background, and the headline, those all make up the front door that hopefully captivates someone's attention and keeps their attention. And the mind, the way that it works is that we visually react to 80 to 90% of the things out there before we react to the words. And so that's why I wanted to skip ahead and answer your question by saying your custom profile picture is probably the most important thing on the front door of your trade show.
Okay.
And your custom profile picture should have a white background, nothing in the background, and it should most likely have a color branded circle around it. What I mean by that is people are just taking snapshots, they're taking photos, and they're uploading them. And it might be, a guy with dark hair, a beard, dark jacket, and he's got a dark background. Well, that means he's showing up as like a thumbprint, a dark dot when someone's searching, and they're not going to connect with him subconsciously. Remember, we want to design this by applying the psychographic scripting system. So if they can't see like his features or a smile on his face, the subconscious of that person is going to go next, and they're going to try to subconsciously connect with someone that they can associate with. So recommendation number 1 for the profile picture is always a white background or a light background.
Light or light background. Excellent. Okay, great.
Recommendation number 2 is to put a color branded border around that picture so that when you show up in LinkedIn search results, it's not just picture, 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 picture. It's picture, picture. Oh, Jillian's got an orange circle around her picture. My mind is attracted to the color that differentiates Jillian's picture from all the other things in that environment. Right? So if you're right, and I chose orange because you've got a beautiful orange blouse on right now, and it might be your company's corporate branding colors, orange.
Sure.
And so when you're showing up in search results for your name or for your topic of expertise or your title in LinkedIn search results, you will see my clients put a circle, a thin circle around their circular profile picture, and attention is immediately drawn to them. Because I appreciate you keeping me on track, Jillian, and your listeners are competing for attention spans.
Right.
And that's why I needed to start with this, which is you're not going to get to the headline unless you subconsciously trigger their mind saying, what's that orange circle? What's that blue circle? What's that green circle?
Now, I know I don't want to get too into the weeds on this because honestly, you have ways you can help people with this, but I'm thinking about that circle and it's just a white circle, correct? Or do I have that wrong? It's just a white circle. And do you put a circle inside the white circle, or are you changing actually the color?
We have a template. So for those of you watching right now, stick around till the very end of this conversation because Jillian and I have a bonus for you, right? We've got right? And we do. And that bonus will include an actual 10-minute video that teaches you how to use the template that we're going to give your audience members for free.
That's awesome. Oh, I love that. Okay, that's awesome.
Yep. So it eliminates the questions for it.
So the first thing is great picture, light or white background, put a fancy circle around it, and if you stay to the end of this, we'll give you the template so that you can just do it and have that all set. Okay, so then what's next? So
that's one component of the front door that's going to captivate people's attention because it's going to contrast with the environment in the search results. The second component is the custom background. Oftentimes, even with a free LinkedIn profile, you have the ability of uploading a background to your LinkedIn profile. And oftentimes, I know that someone doesn't use their LinkedIn profile, and it's a darn shame because they should be if they just have that standard blue background that LinkedIn gave them for free. And it proves to me that they are not serious about succeeding in business. And I mean this from the bottom of my heart, because how can you be in business knowing that someone's going to Google your name if they're going to invest in your business or partner with you, and your LinkedIn profile showing up on page 1 of Google, most likely in the top 3 slots, and that person is going to click through to your LinkedIn profile and they're going to see a blank background. So you missed out on an opportunity to draw them in to what the primary pain is that your business, your company can provide to them, their investors or clients.
Okay, excellent. So you can come up with a a custom background.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming you have the tools for that as well.
So to cut to the chase, as long as you stick around until the very end of this interview, we are going to gift you a 10-minute video that teaches you how to use this free template to customize your own background so that when someone goes to the front door of your trade show booth, you are applying the psychographic scripting system to it. And we're going to give you the templates, and we've got over 100 templates for you to choose from.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, that's such a great gift. So then, okay, so we've
Now
got
the headline.
We've got our head now. Yeah, now we're moving to our headline.
Yep.
What do we do for a headline?
So oftentimes these days, people make a huge mistake by saying, I'm the president of Garland Incorporated, me. And respectfully, nobody cares. It's an ineffective use of valuable real estate. And nobody cares that you're an attorney either, right?
No.
They don't. And so my suggestion is to use those characters in the headline to apply the psychographic scripting system and make sure that you address the primary pain of your ideal audience. So I will quickly map out a framework or a formula that I recommend people consider. Instead of saying CEO, speaker, attorney, this, that, which is an ineffective use of valuable real estate, think about it from the viewer's mind. And I suggest that you start your headline by saying helping. And then the second word after helping is a title of the professional that they will self-select themselves. Like, so if they heard it, they'd be like, oh, that's me. So for example, helping women entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm.
Helping.
That's specific.
Helping helping single moms who are professionals.
Mm-hmm.
That's specific. And then the remainder of it is go from here to there.
Okay.
Go from overwhelmed to over quota, like if it was a salesperson.
So in my world, I don't particularly care for when we're speaking straight to investors. Instead, I like to do it in a way that makes the investor want to find out more information. So for me, and this might be a longer conversation, being that direct, helping investors invest their money in cash flowing real estate is not exactly what, from a securities attorney perspective, I'd want to do. So my point of this, to say it to everybody out there, I really want you to look at it sideways to do it with an implication so that you're still compliant with securities laws. So in other words, maybe talk about what you do in the business so that the investor can find the implication there. So I can't think of a great, but
my suggestion is think of the outcome. Think of the outcome that your service provides. Think of the outcome that your service provides.
So get that out there, everybody. Think of the outcome that your service provides, and that may be, huge cash flow, profits, whatever. But at the end of the day, the implication can also be there. So if you say helping, and I'll make it really obtuse, helping high-end home buyers find their dream luxury home, something that implies that there's a lot of money to be made there. That will lead an investor into that space, because I know what people are watching here are looking at. They're looking at, how can I get investors to invest in my deal? And a lot of times, because of the securities laws, they cannot be that super direct. They cannot say helping investors earn tons of money.
Sure.
Because that's a violation of securities law. So think about that. Think about the end result, so that the implication that there's an opportunity there is there without violating securities laws.
In the context of this conversation today, that's really all that needs to be brought up, because we want people to leave this short, consolidated, compressed training having at least 3 pointers. And and we've given them 4. The first pointer was, don't think of LinkedIn as social media. Don't think of it as technology. Think of it as a trade show booth that you've been gifted. And today, the reason why you're not captivating anyone's attention or getting any business is because you haven't remodeled that trade show booth. So that's pointer number 1. And then pointer number 2 was your front door. You've got to focus on the front door to your trade show booth. And that is made up of your custom profile picture, your custom background, and your custom headline. In the context of this conversation, we should not go any deeper to confuse people other than introduce them to the fact that they must apply the psychographic scripting system to their headline and their LinkedIn profile in order to get into the psychology of the viewer. Otherwise, that viewer's just going to click away.
Oh, excellent. Okay, so, and we don't want viewers clicking away.
No, it's a waste of time. It's a wasted opportunity.
Right. I mean, honestly, I feel like this is the best quick information on how to market yourself that we've ever seen on this program. And I say that with all due respect to my other guests, but I'm being serious because you've given people actionable items here. And I don't want to hurriedly move away from that, but I do want to bring up something else that, I think something that you and your wife do that I think is just so amazing. Dr. Ann Garland and TR run a organization that was, I think, inspired by your daughter, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the original charity is from that. Yes, absolutely.
Awesome. And it's called Philanthropies. Such an amazing concept and idea. Can you tell people about that? So
sure.
If they're interested in looking into that more, they can contact you.
Yeah, absolutely. So in a nutshell, I myself consider myself a mission-driven mentor. There's a lot of money-driven mentors out in the marketplace, and they're focused on making money, and rightfully so. However, I want to make money and make an impact as a result. So I chose, when my daughter was 7 years old, to start a charity with her that focuses on the self-worth and self-esteem in children. And as a result of that specific focus, we raise specific funds and fund an annual girls self-esteem conference that last year alone had 500 girls in attendance that we funded. And then we also fund a mobile eye care clinic that last year alone had over 30,000 people that we were able to serve and support. Now, where does Philanthropies come into the picture? Well, we've got the charity, that's the foundation in which the money goes directly to, and that we fund these projects. However, even though people say they want to help, Jillian, you may be familiar with this, it is challenging to get someone to part with their $100, $200, $1,000, or $10,000 donation. So I creatively came up with this concept called Philanthropies, in which I tapped into my network, I tapped into my colleagues and friends' networks, and Philanthropies are invite-only experiences for purpose-driven professionals. So it is a fundraiser, and in order to buy a ticket to come hang out with other transformational leaders, influencers, and change makers, you buy a ticket, you make a donation to the charity, and then you come, and we host between 80 and about 140 people at our home in the hills of Orange County, California, 4 times a year. And we've got dinner, drinks, deep conversations, and dancing.
Yeah, and I've been to your parties. They're awesome. They're amazing. And I know you have one coming up, but I want people, I don't even want to talk about the one that you have coming up. I want people to just go to your website. Where can they find out more about Philanthropies and perhaps get one of these coveted invitations?
So the best thing to do with regards to LinkedIn specifically is let's explain the gift to some people right now, and then I can explain how people can connect with me if they feel a connection to Philanthropies or if they're just curious how we've been able to implement that business model. Is that okay?
Sure. Absolutely. Please do.
So the announcement is that right before Jillian went live, she said, can we do something like super special for my viewers? And I go, well, like how super special? She's like, really super special. And I'm like, what do you have in mind? And she said, can we like just give my viewers your program? And I said,
I know, I was a little bold about that. Sorry.
I said, well, those of you that know Jillian, she is confident, right? She is bold. She asks for what she wants. And I said, give. And she goes, yeah, instead of them paying $797 to enroll into your Leveraging LinkedIn 10-day fast start, can we just work something behind the scenes to where we make it, whole, and we waive their fees? So long story short, Jillian and I are going to have a powwow on how to make it valuable behind the scenes, but she negotiated on your behalf that we're going to waive your fees. So if anything that I said on this call today, if anything that Jillian said on this call today piqued your interest about how to effectively use LinkedIn to get more prospects, partners, and platforms, then please go to 10dayfaststart.com. The number 10, 10, DAYFAST START, 10dayfaststart.com.
We're going to put it at the bottom here too, so people can click right on it.
And we will, this is not just a throwaway program, meaning it's not a PDF. It's not a recording. This is actually a live 10-day program in which I will be personally teaching you. You'll be able to ask me to look at your LinkedIn profile in real time and provide real world feedback. So this is a real $800 program. As a viewer of Jillian's that she is adding value to, we've waived your $797 enrollment fee. My team will reach out to you by phone, welcome you to the community, and give you all of the login links and when to show up for the live calls. So it's www.10dayfaststart.com. And then if you have any questions about that or the Philanthropies, I'm going to give you my personal email address.
Very good. But before, I want to say this before you continue. Just so everybody knows, there's no catch here. That he really means he's going to do this for you for free. And just so you know, I put my money where my mouth is. We've told every single attorney in this office that they need to go to that website and sign up for it themselves and see what TR has to offer and his team has to offer, because we think it's that important. I have 7,600 followers on LinkedIn right now that I am not using effectively. And that's a shame. That's a sin, quite frankly. So I don't want you guys to think that there's like something at the end that, I benefit from, or, that we're not sincere in our offer here of truly free special offer for you, because it is just that. And it's because I explained to TR, my audience is all entrepreneurs. They are interested and need you more than you even know. So that's why it was so easy to convince him to make this offer. I don't want you to think there's a catch, because there isn't. Go to the website and sign up if you're struggling with your LinkedIn. Or even if you're not struggling with your LinkedIn. I'm not necessarily struggling with my LinkedIn. I got 7,600 followers. I know I'm not using it the most effective manner. And that's why I'm turning to TR for help. And that's why I brought him here today. So go ahead and give everybody your personal email address so they can reach out to you.
So if you have questions about the Leveraging LinkedIn 10-day fast start or the Philanthropies brand and how we've been able to, use that as a fundraiser for our specific charity, just send me an email, tr@trgarland.me. tr@trgarland.me. Just send me a message saying, I heard you and Jillian talking about this and I've got a question. Let's create a relationship here. The goal of being a guest expert on these type of podcasts and interview series are hopefully the first of many conversations that I'm going to be having with people that share the same values and virtues than I share. So Absolutely. If anything that I said resonated with you, just reach out to me and connect. I'm a real person and I'll really reply to your email.
Everybody, please take him up on this. He means it. He'll respond to you right away. I can attest to that fact. So TR, we got to wrap up here. We went way longer than we normally do, but I appreciate it so much, and this information was so important. So with that being said, if you don't mind, please tell us what are you reading these days, or what do you recommend people read to get them going on their entrepreneurship, spiritual, or just life journey?
So I think the best way to answer this is don't forget about the classics. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey.
Love that.
Around Thanksgiving and Christmas, I encourage each and every one of your listeners, is if they have it, pick it up again and reread it. It's a classic for a reason. It is so practical in its information, and it's so implementable in its information as well. Sharpen the saw is one of my favorite habits, which is where people are coming from when they're listening to your podcast, to your interview series, which is they want to tap in to the experience of an expert like yourself and who you invite onto these specific interviews. So my quick answer is don't neglect the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, because it will help you jumpstart your 2020.
Such a good book. I couldn't agree with you more. Absolutely. And now you've encouraged me. I'm going to go back and read it, sharpen my saw a little bit by just reading that book. And thank you, TR, so much. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for the offer to our audience. Everybody, today's guest was TR Garland. He told you how to get in touch with him. We'll put it also here so that you can go right to the website and also email him directly. I'm Jillian Sidoti, and we'll see you next time.